you, Marla. Thanks for that introduction. Hello and welcome, everyone. It's good to have you all on board today. Hope you can learn some new things with our membership and sign up and renewal process in your association online system. Okay, what we will be looking at today is really starting with your membership sign up process. The purpose of this webcast today is really just to show you how the Association Online system is expected to work. So the basic processes of the membership sign up and the membership renewal system. So it's not designed to cover off specific questions around your customized system and your customized setup. If you do have some questions about that, we will talk about that later. But what we will look at is really just the basic process from sign up process, how you can approve a membership, how you can activate your memberships in the back end as well. So from a front end perspective as well as a back end perspective. We'll also be looking at the sign up forms, having a look at how you set up and edit your own sign up forms, your renewal forms and your update detail forms for the membership module, which I know some of you will really love that. We also have, we will cover a little bit about the website content display that you can see on the front end too. In the last part, we'll look at the standard renewal process for a member. So when their membership's up for renewal, what happens at that time? How can they renew their memberships on the front end of the website, but also show you how you can do it and renew a membership for a member in the back end. So it's a standard renewal process. So all of these elements may help you to understand your membership sign up and renewal processes a bit better. You may even learn some new tips and tricks. Some of you, I know some of you that are joining today have been through this with me in the past, but it's a great refresher. So yeah, just a reminder, it is based on the basic structure of Association Online, not your customized site. So we'll cover that later as well. So the 3 phases of membership are generally the sign up phase, the renewal phase and the expiry phase. And we're really just looking at the sign up and renewal phases today. First, we'll actually start with some membership statuses that can be customized based on settings in your membership types as well. And the reason we'll start with the statuses is because they're affected based on the sign up and renewal process. Active and expired statuses are triggered by defined system behavior. So for example, the system's been set up to automatically expire a membership on the 30th of June. Therefore, the status of every membership will change automatically from active to expired at 12 AM on the 1st of July. Or if a member renews their membership with a credit card payment and the system's been set up to automatically make the status of the membership active when this happens. So the active and expired processes are defined through what happens in the system. You cannot delete these statuses. You can relabel them, and I know a number of our clients, probably online today, do relabel their active and expired statuses to different terminology that suits your association, so you can do that. The pending status either require some system-triggered behaviour or administrative intervention. For example, when a member signs up with an offline method of payment, such as direct deposit, the status may be set to pending payment. When an administrator marks off the payment received in the orders and invoicing section, the status will then change to active. Okay, so sometimes it's set by the system itself, and sometimes it may require administrative action to manually change it to a pending status. The customized statuses, however, do require complete administrator intervention, meaning you manually need to change the status of the membership. And these could be statuses such as resigned or cancelled or on maternity leave or something like that. Let's have a look in the back end of an Association Online system and show you where you can see and set your own statuses. Let's go back in first. So I'm in my training site in the back end, and I'm going to be working today in the members section. So we'll be focusing in this whole area. But the statuses for the membership types are managed in the setup section. So if we go under membership to setup, okay, it takes you to your membership types by default, but underneath at the bottom of the setup section, we have the statuses. So I don't know if any of you have actually gone into here before. A lot of this is set up for you when your system was built in the first place, but you may have changed your processes in the meantime. Therefore, you can come and change your statuses if you need to. You can sort your statuses by putting them in a different order by clicking and dragging them around using the black arrows. You can relabel them, so you can change the wording in the label. You can change the color of the background of the status. Okay, so if you don't like the set colors, you can change them. You can see how many memberships are already assigned to that status as well, and you can delete the status from here using the rubbish bin. So you can see how you cannot delete the active or expired statuses. They need to be there. Okay, you can create as many statuses as you need to. So that's the statuses, and the reason I start with that is because it makes more sense when we come to the next stage of looking at the sign-up process and how those statuses will work. So when someone does sign up, let's use an example of a new user comes to your website, they want to join your association, which is fantastic. How do they sign up? They can usually sign up with online payments, so using something like a credit card, or we call it, or they can also sign up with an offline method of payment such as direct deposit or check. So let's look at the example of someone signs up with a credit card. The status may then change to pending approval. Okay, if you have an approval process, or it may go straight to active. You can say, yep, we'll give them active status as soon as they've paid. We don't need to approve them. That's fine. Or you may require approval, and once the administrator approves the membership is then active, which means that they can go and get their membership benefits on the website and discounts at events and so on. Or if a member signs up with an offline method of payment, a direct deposit or a check, the status may go to pending payment and approval, or just pending payment. Once payment has been marked as received by the administrator, yourselves, the status may go to active or pending approval and then approved. So there's a couple of processes in there we can look at. The front end sign up process. So when a member signs up on the front end, it's important that you make sure it's easy for your users to navigate to the membership details to sign up on the front end. And when they do, they come to a description page on each membership type. So you can add membership content on each membership type using the WYSIWYG editor in the membership form. You can explain the aspects of membership so users can choose the right membership type for them. And later in the webcast, I'll show you where this editor is located so you can add or edit your membership content, and which will display under the membership type heading on the front end. The details, the membership details actually come from the information about the membership, and that's done in the membership setup area. So we're not covering that today, but we can look at that later on. So you find the information about the membership, how long it's going for, the cost, joining fees, any other associated fees that are reading from the membership settings with the sign up button for them to sign up. So let's go through that on the front end of the website. Okay, so I'm going to go to my Association Online front end, and I'm going to go join a membership. To get to the membership, if you don't have a link somewhere on your website, to get to the membership information, your URL would be your website address /membership if you need to access it that way. And then the content listed here is reading from the membership module, not the website content area. Okay, so the category of membership I've got here is individual or company. I'm going to say I'm going to join as an individual member today. These are my membership types that I could specifically join with some content, a little bit about each membership type with a read more link. Okay, so I'm going to become a full member today. And there's the details, the content of the membership with the details listed below. I'll click on the sign up button, which will take me to the relevant sign up form that has been selected in the membership details. Okay, so because I'm already logged in, it's pre-populated my information in the sign up form, but obviously, yeah, I clicked on something, it says you've already got your details, so it's already pre-populated. So fill in my membership sign-up form and then submit, which will take me to the shopping cart. Okay, it tells me my full membership cost, my joining fee, my GST, and the total amount. And I can just go through and complete my order. Fill in the billing address details. And I'll choose my method of payment. Today, I'm not going to pay on a real credit card. I'm going to choose to pay via direct deposit. I'll put it in the bank account, thank you. So that's my offline method of payment. And I will submit my order. Yes, I'm happy with that, thank you. So now that should have done two things. One, it's added me as a member. It's updated any details on my database profile. It would have sent me an email from the membership module saying, welcome, you're a new member. Here you can, your membership is now pending payment and approval or whatever status it's set to. And it now allows me to go to the Member Centre and the My Memberships area on the website, okay, My Memberships, and I can view my membership details here. Okay. So it tells me I have 2 memberships because this is my practice site. The one I just signed up for is the status pending approval and payment, started today and expires on the 30th of September. I did this, normally it would maybe go for 12 months, so most memberships do, but for the purpose of today's training, I just kept it for a month's membership. And scrolling down, you can see my membership information. So it tells me a bit about the membership. I can also go to the Update Details tab, and there's an Update Details form that I can fill in. So I can change my information if I need to. Okay, so that is the sign-up process on the front end. You can also, as an administrator, create a manual membership in the back end. So it is in your best interest to encourage your members to apply on the front end of the website as much as possible. But obviously for different reasons, people do need to, administrators often need to create a new membership in the back end of the system. So to complete a new membership application, you just click on the new membership button, and it's either in the members or the membership screen. It's in 2 places, and complete the relevant form. Let's go do that in the back end. So under the members area, you have members in the top level menu. The sub-level menu has membership. Then you have your list of members, so your individual members, and your list of memberships as well. Okay, so from either the members tab or the membership section, you can add a new membership. Click on the orange button. Okay, and the first thing you're asked to do is select a membership type. Okay, so you can select which type of membership it is and then look for either an existing user or create a new user. This means we're looking in the database for someone that's already here. Are they an existing user? They're not there, then you can create a new person and it will save them to the database. Bilbo. Okay, first name, last name, email address, then click on the relevant proceed button. Okay, it's going to say we're creating a new user. Do you want to continue? Yes, please. And then it's asked us to fill in the sign up form for the, I won't fill in all the details for Bilbo. We don't need it all. The only required fields was the top ones, including company name. Then you have 2 options here in the back end. You can create with payment, which will then, just similar to the front end, you will go through to the shopping cart. Or you can just create the membership. So you're not taking any payment, you're just creating what we call a free membership. Okay, you have a choice. I'm going to create with payment today. I'm going to say Bilbo contacted me directly. He does have required fields for the billing address. So I will fill that in. I can't remember the name of his street. Bag End. It's in Bag End, isn't it? We don't have the relevant state, but we'll pop that in. And then we pop in our order details and go through and choose his method of payment. So Bilbo may have contacted you and said, can I pay via credit card? Can you just put my membership through? I'm going to say his method of payment is direct deposit. And that will then send Bilbo an email and the order invoice as well. Okay, so he knows how to pay. Excellent. So we've got a couple of members sign up. We had one sign up on the front end, which was myself, and we had Bilbo sign up. We signed up Bilbo in the back end of the system. So the next step is both of them were offline method of payments. So now we want to administer a membership payment. So the order needs to be marked in the Commerce Orders and Invoicing section. So we need to find the relevant order. We've received the money in our bank, so we need to find it, mark it as payment received, and that will auto update the status of that membership. Let's have a look. I'm going to go first before we go to the orders. I want to look at the statuses. That we talked about statuses earlier, but let's have a look at the statuses in the membership type called full membership first. Okay. When you click on a membership type, you've got a few tabs in here to work with. We're not going to go through each of these tabs today, but something worth having a look at in more detail if you feel comfortable. In the Details Settings tab, if we scroll down, okay, we see all our coloured statuses here. There are some different statuses created based on settings in the system. So for example, the first one is a new membership status with an online payment. What will the status be when someone goes through and makes a payment with a credit card as a new member? It's going to be pending approval. Okay, what about an offline payment? Okay, pending approval and payment. Are they active? If it is no payment, which means you've created a membership in the back end without a payment, it will automatically be active. And then what will happen when we mark the order marked payment received for a new membership? It will then go to pending approval, so the status will change. Okay, so those are the statuses. There's the same situation for the renewal process, renewal status, and upgraded memberships as well. Okay, so that's where your statuses are set, okay, with the membership types. So if we look at our list of memberships, we can find our Bilbo and Alison memberships that we just created. So I'm going to filter based on full memberships. They're the membership types we're working with today. Oh, we've got 9 memberships with this one, and the last 2 down the bottom, number 49 and 50, were the ones we just created. And their statuses are pending approval and payment. So I'm going to open up the Commerce module in a new tab, and we'll go mark those payments, those memberships as payment received. Let's say Bilbo and Alison paid for their memberships. We've got their money in the bank account. We can mark them as payment received. Okay. So these are the relevant orders here, number 188 and 189. So we can mark them both at the same time or do one at a time. Now this isn't a commerce training session, so I'm going through this quite briefly, but we can cover that off further in another training session. I'll change the status to payment received, okay, and set the date and time that the payment was received at. So you can actually backdate that if you do have memberships. It relates to the membership module, you know it needs to be activated, and you did receive the money last week, you can backdate that. And it will create the membership based on that information. Okay, so those orders have been paid now, so let's go back and refresh this page, and our statuses should have changed because we marked the order as payment received. Excellent, so now you can see Bilbo and my memberships were now pending approval. They're no longer pending payment. So that leads me to the next process, which is to approve a membership. There are 2 ways to approve a membership in this system. One is from the membership list. So you can filter your membership list based on the status of pending approval. Select the relevant memberships that you want to approve, and there's a little approve tick button above the list. And that will ask you to date it, what date was it approved on. So that's an easy way you can approve multiple memberships at the one time. Otherwise, you can, for number 2, you can actually click into the membership itself, the membership details tab, and tick the approve box in the membership information. if it doesn't work, if you go into a membership and find that that option isn't there, it may be because you haven't ticked that the membership requires approval in the settings. So you do need to do that first. Let's have a look at that in the back end. Okay, so in order for the approval option to display in a membership, you do have to go into the membership type. So I am covering a little bit about settings here, but they relate. Okay. And in this section here where it says sign up requires approval, renewal requires approval, or upgrade requires approval. Okay, if any of those are ticked, then the approval option will display. The approval fields will display for you. Okay, so in this case, we did have sign up requires approval. So we can go to our memberships list now. We can say, okay, we want to filter our list based on full memberships and only show us pending approval memberships. Okay, so we'll deselect all the other statuses, and now we've got 4 memberships waiting for approval. So to approve a membership from this list, you can multi-select using the little green tick button, okay, or the red button to multi-deselect. So you can select them all and then the tick button above, the little icon up the top. Okay, or select individual ones. So you could say, I'm going to approve Bilbo's membership. And that should change his status. Okay, takes you to another screen. It says the status after approval will then be active. This is the approval date and we will approve it, yes. It's kind of like a confirmation screen and you approve the membership. So now Bilbo's membership will be active. He will no longer be in this filter list. There he is, he's gone. So that was step number 1, a way to approve it from the membership list. Or number 2, you can click into the membership itself and in the membership details tab, okay, in the membership tab, sorry. If I scroll down the bottom, okay, there is an application approved field. So again, like I said, if that's not displaying, it may be because it's not in the settings for you to see. So you just tick the approve button. It auto date stamps it for today, but you can click on the date picker and backdate it. So you can say, actually, it was approved from last week. That won't work for me because I created it today. So you can't backdate the approval before it was created. So just note, that's a little tip for you. If you notice when I tick the approve button, the status at the top automatically changes to active straight away. Okay, so it's saying it's going to be active. If now I know this question may come up, so I'm preempting a question for you, Marla. If somebody, you want to approve a membership before it's been paid, and the status is going to say, well, it's going to change to active when we've approved it, you can manually change it to pending payment instead. And then when it's marked as paid receipt, payment received, then it will automatically change to active. Okay, so you can do it the other way around. I have shown you today the way of marking off payment first and then approving a membership, but you can do it the other way. You just have to manually change it here to pending payment. Okay, so hopefully if anyone did ask that question or wanted to ask that question, that answers that. So that's approving a membership. Now let's look at the sign-up forms. Okay, the sign-up forms, it is located in the membership setup area for you to create your own membership sign-up, renewal, and update details forms. It is called sign-up forms in the system, but it can be any forms that you want to attach to your membership. So to create or edit them, you go to set up sign-up forms. You can also create categories for your membership forms here as well. And that can help you with administrative use. For those associations that do have quite a lot of membership types, it may help you to categorize your membership forms. You can put them all into categories such as sign-up forms, renewal forms, update detail forms, or, based on each membership type. Or I know some of our associations have different state branches, so they might have state membership types or state sign-up forms. So there's lots of different ways you can create categories for your sign-up forms. You can also copy forms that are already in place and edit those forms. There is a copy button. So that's another time saver. So you can copy a form and then edit it. For example, oftentimes your renewal form might be very similar to your sign-up form, but you may not need as many fields for them to fill in for renewal. You know, the initial one, you might have a declaration field that they tick the box, yes, I agree to your terms and conditions of membership, but you don't need that for renewal. They've already agreed to it last time. That's an example. So you can copy the sign-up form, edit it, remove the fields you don't need, and then save it, and you've got a new form. So the forms are applied to each membership type in the Membership Type Details tab as well. Editing a membership form, you just need to click into the form to edit it, and the fields on the form can be linked to the contact database. They are usually configured to be read and write. You can create read-only fields as well. So you can have fields that they can just have, they can read the content that's from the database, but they can't edit it. So this means that when someone's logged in, if it's a read and write field, data from the contact database will pre-populate in the fields. And any changes that are made when someone completes the form will also write back to the database profile of the individual that's filling in the form. The fields are color-coded in the form based on the field type legend. I've got that highlighted here. So the pink field's obviously from the company database. It's information that relates to the person's employer. The green field are the contact fields, information that relates to the individual person. And the blue fields are form-only fields. You use these to add things like titles or instructions to the form. The fields do not write back to the database, the blue ones. There is a field up the top here called Show Data from Other Forms. It is automatically ticked by default, which means that anytime this is selected, any data that's pre-populated from other forms will display. So if there is a renewal form and it has the same fields as the sign-up form, then the fields will pre-populate and display, whether they're blue fields, green fields, or pink fields. So if someone has filled in a blue field on one form and you've used the same field on another form, it will automatically display what they've selected previously, what they've entered previously in that field. So by default, that's handy because, again, it's a time saver for the person filling in the form. However, just a little caveat to that is that you may need to disable it if you have something like a search directory where members might need different data based on like different locations. So, for example, you have a medical centre that might have different offices in 3 locations. So therefore, they need 3 different memberships with 3 different addresses. So that's when you don't want the data from other forms to display. So let's look at that in the back end. Let's go and have a look at those sign-up forms. Firstly, I'm going to go to the setup area and go to the membership type and show you where we link the sign-up forms, the renewal forms, and the update details forms to your membership. Okay, so again, we're back in our full membership information. We're in the details settings tab in the first instance. Okay, so these are the 3 fields. This is where we're putting in our sign-up form, our renew form, and our edit details form. The edit details form is the one that shows on the front end under this tab called update details. Okay, so this is the form that's going to display here. The renewal form is the one that's going to display when I, on the front end, click on the renew button and fill in my renewal form. And obviously the sign up form we've already done today when we signed up our membership. So all of those forms are set up and managed in the sign up forms section under the setup in memberships. So you see the screen here, it looks like the same screen I just showed you. You have the categories tree on the left-hand side and your list of forms displayed. So for the categories, if you do want to create a category, you just click on the plus sign and all you need to do is label it, title it. Okay, I want to create a category called sign up forms. And it's assumed I want to add a form straight to it or see all the forms that are in it because it's highlighted in orange and taken me there. And any other forms are no longer there because they weren't assigned to that category. So these are the forms we have as an example in here. You can edit them, copy them, you can delete them. Obviously, deleting a form, you do need to be careful if you are actively using that form or have in the past, you would lose history of that form information. So just be careful with deleting forms. But let's look at the sign up form. I'm just going to click on this one to have a look at it. So there's the name of the form. Here's the category. So that's how you can categorize your forms. You need to have a category in place before you can select a category from the drop-down list. Display security code. So that will display the capture code at the bottom of the form when someone is a public user and they're not logged into the system. And there's the show data from other forms option ticked by default. Okay, so at the moment, it looks like we've got all green fields in this sign up form, which means it's going to be linked to the database. So you've got your field name, the preview, what it will look like. If it's a required field, so you can make them required or not required fields. You can easily move your form fields around by using the green arrows, so you can click and drag them around your form up and down. You can edit the field and you can delete the field. So again, being very mindful not to delete fields that have been used in the past because you may lose that historical information. You may just make it a read-only field or admin-only field if you don't want to use it anymore. Scrolling down to the bottom, you can see that there's some existing fields. So there's an option to add an existing field. If you've created a field in another form, you can use that field in this form. Okay, so there's fields we've created elsewhere and we can add existing field. If there isn't one in that list, you can create a new one. Okay, so you can label your field. So you might just, you want to give instruction, or like actually I want to ask them, what are your areas of interest? Okay, we want to target market some people. We want to know what their areas of interest are with this association. Do we want to share data with other forms? That one's not ticked by default in the field itself, so you may need to tick it. It could be read and write once, so they can only write it in once and then it's a read only. Or you can have it hidden. It could be an admin only function. You might have fields that you want to add to a membership or information, sorry, you want to add to a membership that is only managed by you. So you can create a field that is not displayed on the front end, but you can add it in the back end. So a lot of people may not have known about that. That's another little tip for you. Then we have the field type. So we can, I'm sure many of you have seen these kind of things before in other parts of the system, but the types of fields we can add, text box, add a number, a text area, date, radio buttons, drop-down list, checkboxes, add a file, add a document. Okay, add a caption, add a title, add a heading. Okay, there's lots of things you can do here. I'm not going to cover all that off today. You guys can go and have a play with that after training. The last two down the bottom are the ones that are going to link to the contact database or the company database. When you select one of them, the other options display, so it will bring up the list of contact fields because I chose contacts. I think I had interest. Got to find the right field. So interest, there we go. So even though the field is called interest in the contact database, the label could be different in the sign up form. Okay, so you don't have to label it the same as what's in the database, up to you. And then we'll add that field to the form. There we go. They all sound pretty good. Okay, I'm going to save my form now. That's just an example of how you can add, edit, delete, move your form fields, and then have a play with those sign up and renewal and update your detail forms. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a little bit more information about your sign up forms there. The last bit I want to look at before we look at renewals is the public display content. Earlier, I showed you on the front end how you can add, how you have content about your membership types, and that's managed from this tab called Public Display. Let's have a look at that in the back end. Okay, so I'm going to go back into my individual membership type called Full Membership. Here's my Public Display tab, and there's some options here. So the first one, these fields will identify whether the membership type and information within the membership type is displayed on the front end. So the first one is, do we want it to be public? Do we want the public to see it? You may have membership types that you're using for back-end use only. So you may not want it displayed on the front end of the website. We're saying, yeah, we do want people to see this membership type. And will it be visible in the public type lists? What this means is, will it be visible when we put that, we go to join and we go to the URL /membership? Do we want it to display in this list of memberships on the front end? Okay, this is your public type list. Okay, so that's by ticking that will display. Do we want to enable online sign up and online renewal? And this one, a lot of people might not know about, is enable online renewal without updating details. It's what we call the quick renew button. This opens up that quick renew button, which I'll show you in a moment and what that does. And do we want them to update their details in their membership in their My Memberships area? Then scrolling down, you have a list description. So that will display in the list of membership types. So this is really important, this part. This will be, how someone determines which membership type they should be joining. Okay, so you give them a bit of information. What is this membership type about? And then the full page content underneath that. So that's the information displayed when they click on the relevant membership type. Okay, so this one's all about full membership. So there's my list description in the list of memberships. And when I click into that membership type, I can see the full content, the full page content. Okay, so you have a WYSIWYG editor that you can use, the HTML editor above, that you can add a table, add images, add links, add documents, whatever you want to add to, give your members or new members potentially new members information about, what this membership type gives them and what their benefits are. Okay, so that is the public display content. Which leads me to the end, the last stage of this training session, to talk about membership renewals and just have a look at the renewal process on the front end of the website. So you can see on this screen, we do have a renew button and a quick renew button. So obviously you can turn off that quick renew button, which is in the public display section. You can just deselect that tick box so they don't have an option. Because what the quick renew button does, it assumes that the person is renewing their membership based on last year's membership type and price. So if you have a scale of pricing that they may need to upgrade to, then the quick renew button is not going to be suitable. Okay, so you may want to turn it off. It also stops them from filling in a renewal form, which is a great time at the end of your, membership period, at the renewal time, to change their details or update their details. It's a reminder that they need to fix up their information in your database. So if you don't want, your members are probably very busy people, like we all are, when you click on the quick renew button, they can just go straight to the shopping cart. Okay, so if you don't want that option, you can deselect it. Let's look at that renewal process on the front end. So I'm in the renewal period. I can renew my membership. It's not due to expire till, let's have a look in my memberships, 30th of September, I think I had. Yes, it's now active, good. Okay, so yes, it was expiring on the 30th of September, but I can actually, it's open for me to renew, so I can renew it anytime. So again, we've got quick renew, take me straight to the shopping cart and renew me at the same price as last year, or whatever the renewal price is in the pricing setup. Or I can click on the renew button and go through the renewal form. Update any details. I'm interested in those areas, all of the above. And I want to receive marketing. There we go. I've updated my details now, and now I can go through the shopping cart and renew for next year. Too easy. It's saved because I did it in the back end for Bilbo Baggins. It saved Bilbo's billing address details. So billing address details, it's a little bit of a side, but if you do put someone else's billing address details in, it will save that billing address details from last time. It doesn't save it to your database. It doesn't update your database profile. It just saves it as a billing address. Okay, so that will be the next. Just fix this up a little bit. I don't want it to go to Bilbo. There we go. And that will just renew my membership when I choose my method of payment and go through that process. You can do the same thing in the back end as well. So if someone does contact you and say, can you just renew for me, send me an invoice, this is a way to do it. Okay, so I'll go back to the membership list. We should find, actually, I've got my previous filter options saved, so I need to change my filter options and click on search. And there we go. Let's find Bilbo because he should be in the renewal period as well. So in the back end, you can also see the renew button. It will only display if we're in that period of renewal. Okay. So we can go through and renew his membership as well. And you can renew with payment or just renew, just like we could do with the create option. Create with payment or just create. Okay, that has set his renewal, and it tells us that when he hits that expiry date of 30th of September, the status will update to active because I did a renew without payment. I just did an auto renew. Not an auto renew, sorry, just a renew without payment. Okay, so that is the basic renewal process as well. So just so we've got a little bit of time for questions, I'll just cover a summary of what we went through today. So as a basic process of membership signups, both the front end and the back end of the system, how to administer offline membership payments, so when a payment comes through and it changes the status of the membership once you've marked it as payment received, how to approve a membership, both as a group or as an individual membership, how to manage your membership forms for sign up, renewal and updating your details, where to find your membership public display settings and the content, and a bit about the membership renewal process. So we really have just scratched the surface in a way in a short period of time. Now this is the exciting part for you guys. What we've started to do at Association Online is to create some online tutorials for you so you can work through and view them to assist you with your membership management. So this is a flow on from today. They are in our online support center, okay, under the e-learning section. Okay, so if you go to instructions, I'll show you in a moment where to go to find that. But at the moment, we only have membership admin tutorials available. We've just started releasing them and piloting them. I have a plan to do more in future, and we're partially through event management as well. So we'll have some more of that coming your way. But this is a great way to start. It's basically some short videos, little bits and pieces about the membership, some activities for you to do to practice. So if you do want a refresher, you do have new staff, this is a great place to send them. We do also have training manuals and quick reference guides in the support center. I am currently working through updating them all at the moment as well. So there's some new updates in there too. So keep an eye on that as well. So to get to those tutorials, we do have our little support center. If you go into the back end of your system and go to the little life buoy at the top right-hand corner, I'm going to open that up in a new window. Now, for me, I'm already logged in. It tells me I'm logged in, so I can access it straight away. But the system, it will ask you to log in if you haven't already done so. Your username would be your email address, and your password, it's whatever you've set it to be. If you haven't set it before, just click on Forgot Password and go through that process. Then you can come to the instructions area. This is where you would find information about each of our modules, okay, training documents, and our e-learning. So this is where we want you to come to go and check out those membership tutorials. Now they're still not perfect. I've got a few options in here. Okay, so there's some different sections, you know, if you want to know more about company memberships, managing your memberships, membership emails, your settings, building reports, and so on. Okay, and each section might have some, little videos and some, let's have a look, making sense of the email templates. That's a good one to watch. So yeah, there's a snippet, there's a video, it's coming up, and then some, now you do it. Okay, so you go in and have a play and edit your emails. So I'm hoping that will assist you. If you aren't able to access the support centre, maybe you're a new staff member, we haven't popped you on our list yet or something, please contact me at arose@adversol.com and I will give you access and make sure you're ready to go with that. I think that's really important to get you started if you're a new staff member with an association. So thank you all for attending. I hope you managed to get at least one or two things out of it, if not a whole mind-blowing experience of like our membership module. It's a start anyway. Before we do go over a couple of questions, we've only got a few minutes left. So the next webcast will be running on the 26th of September. We'll be giving a CPD overview of the an overview of the CPD module, which is really sort of, if you haven't used it before, or if you're new to CPD, you want to know more about it, what it does, continuing professional development. Keep an eye out in your emails. We'll be sending you links to come along. Also useful for those that may have our old CPD system, which is a few years old now, our PD trackers. If you're thinking to upgrade, this is a good one for you. And on the 24th of October, we'll be looking at how to build a query for marketing. So looking at some ways to break up your database to certain groups of people so you can market directly to those. So yeah, so there's a few more things coming after that, but this is a starting process. So thank you. And Marla, I'll hand back to you if you have some questions to